Okay, when you think about Dubai real estate, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's got to be the Palm Jumeirah, right? That global icon, the very symbol of waterfront luxury. But what about what's next? Well, there's a new player in town, a massive mega project that's all about the future. Today, we're putting them head-to-head. We're talking the ultimate showdown, the legendary Palm Jumeirah versus the ambitious Dubai Islands. And this isn't just about cool buildings. This is about your money, your goals, and figuring out which one is the right move for you.
So, to really get what's going on here, you first have to wrap your head around just how audacious the original Palm was. I mean, this wasn't just another real estate project. This was Dubai planting its flag, making a massive statement to the entire world. Think about it, a giant island shaped like a palm tree, stretching out into the Gulf, built literally from nothing but sand and rock. It completely changed the game for luxury living. And that's the story we're starting with, the icon and the bold newcomer that's trying to write the next chapter.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the mind-blowing engineering that even made these islands possible. Then, we'll dive into what makes the Palm such an icon. After that, we'll check out the new kid on the block, Dubai Islands. Then comes the main event, the head-to-head showdown. And finally, we'll help you figure out which one might be the right fit for you. Okay, let's kick things off with the engineering. Because honestly, the ambition here is just on another level. I mean, it's one thing to build on land, but to literally create land from the sea, and not just any land, but an icon? That, my friends, is a true engineering marvel. So get this, to create the Palm Jumeirah, they needed 100 million cubic meters of sand. And you can't just use any old sand from the desert, it's too fine, it would just wash away. Nope, they had to dredge all of it, every last grain from the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Just think about that for a second. It's a colossal, almost unbelievable task that formed the very foundation of the island.
And the way they did it was just brilliant. It was kind of like a two-step masterpiece. First, they built this massive protective wall, a 22-kilometer-long breakwater made from 7 million tons of rock. It's like a giant shield against the sea. Then, inside that shield, the magic happened. Dredgers started spraying the sand in these huge arcs, a technique they actually call rainbowing. And to make sure they got that perfect palm shape, they used super precise GPS, literally guiding every grain of sand to its exact spot. Incredible.
Now look at this timeline. It just shows you the insane speed of Dubai's vision. They started building in 2001. By 2003, just 2 years later, the land was actually finished. People started moving in by 2006, and before you knew it, it had its own monorail, a tunnel under the sea, the whole shebang. They built an entire city from scratch, right on top of the water. Just wild. All right, so that brings us to our first contender in this showdown, the one, the only, Palm Jumeirah. And you've got to understand, this isn't just a place to live, it's a global brand. You know, buying a place on the Palm is kind of like buying a blue chip stock. It's the safe, prestigious bet. It has that instant global recognition, right? Everyone knows the name. So the market is super mature, the demand is always there, and if you need to sell, you can. That's what we call high liquidity. It's basically seen as a low-risk, high-value trophy asset that looks amazing in any investment portfolio. And here's the kicker. Even with those premium prices, the returns are really solid. At 5.2%, that's the average rental yield you can expect on the Palm right now. That is a very, very healthy return. It just goes to show, it's not just a pretty face. It's a hardworking asset that can generate real income. Okay, now let's pivot to the challenger, Dubai Islands. And hey, you might have known this project by its old name, Dara Islands, but the rebrand is a big deal. It begs the question, right? Why build another one? Well, it's all about Dubai's master plan. They're trying to diversify, to attract a whole new wave of buyers and broaden their appeal. This isn't just Palm Part 2. It's being set up as the next big step in waterfront living. So Dubai Islands is playing a totally different game. If the Palm is the blue chip stock, this is the exciting growth stock. The prices to get in are way more affordable, and the whole design is looking to the future. We're talking sustainability, modern planning, all the good stuff. And here's the really important part. It's a cornerstone of the government's official Dubai 2040 plan. That means it's strategically important. So yeah, it's a high-reward play, but it definitely comes with its own set of risks. And when I say high reward, I'm not just guessing. Check out this number,
10 to 12%. That's how much property values have already jumped for the early birds, and this is before anyone has even moved in. That's a huge signal, right? It shows there's a real first-mover advantage if you're willing to believe in the long-term vision.
Okay, time for the main event. We've met our two heavyweights, now let's put them in the ring and see how they stack up on the stuff that really matters to you as a buyer.
First up, lifestyle. It's really a story of now versus later. On the Palm, you get everything immediately. The fancy hotels, the amazing restaurants, the exclusive beach clubs, it's all built and ready to go today. Dubai Islands? Well, it's selling a promise for the future. You're buying into a blueprint, a vision of what's coming. Beautiful parks, marinas, sustainable living, but you're going to have to wait for it.
All right, let's talk about the big one, price. And honestly, these numbers pretty much speak for themselves. A one-bed on the Palm, you're looking at about 3.2 million dirhams. On Dubai Islands, 2.1 million. That's a huge difference already. But look at the villas. It gets even crazier. We're talking almost 32 million on the Palm, compared to under 10 million on Dubai Islands. I mean, we are in a completely different ballpark here.
And this chart just drives the point home. Let's take a simple two-bedroom apartment. On the Palm, it's 5.5 million. On Dubai Islands, it's 3.2 million. It couldn't be clearer, right? This isn't some small percentage difference. It's a massive price gap, and that gap is really what defines these two different opportunities.
So that huge price difference obviously brings us to the topic of risk. Look, the Palm Jumeirah is the safer bet, no question. It's a proven asset. It's been through economic ups and downs, and it's still standing strong. You know what you're getting. Dubai Islands, on the other hand, the potential payoff is much bigger, but there are more question marks. You're betting on a vision, and there's always uncertainty with things like construction delays or what the rental market will actually look like once it's all done.
So, after all that, what's the verdict? Which one is actually better? Well, the truth is, there's no single right answer. The best choice really depends on you and what you're looking for.
Let's break it down really simply. Are you the kind of person who wants a trophy asset, something that generates income from day one in a prestigious, ready-made community? If so, you're probably looking at Palm Jumeirah. Or are you more of a strategic, long-term player, someone who wants to get in on the ground floor, target that big capital growth, and you have the patience to see a project through? Then Dubai Islands might be calling your name.
But here's a really important piece of the puzzle that brings it all together. Both of these massive projects, the Icon and the Future Vision, are backed by the same developer. We're talking about Nakheel, the government-owned company that successfully built the Palm in the first place. Knowing that adds a massive layer of credibility and trust no matter which option you're leaning towards.
So really, it all boils down to this. This isn't about picking a winner and a loser. It's about looking in the mirror and figuring out your own investment style. What are your goals? What's your timeline? How much risk are you comfortable with? The right answer is the one that aligns with your personal strategy.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought, one that goes way beyond Dubai. Where does the future of building our cities really lie? Is it in perfecting the icons we already have? Or is it in taking huge risks on bold, new, ambitious visions? It's a question that every great city and every smart investor has to ask themselves.